It's almost like you feel kind of trapped and alone on set. You're like, who do I trust?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most sinister facts about Hollywood.
I had this mentality of like, if you're gonna work me like an adult, I get to party like one.
Number 10, Underpaying Writers. Every good piece of visual media starts with a good script. For being the starting point of the whole ordeal, writers have seldom been treated fairly in the industry.
Audiences don't know somebody sits down and writes a picture. They think the actors make it up as they go along.
Recently, they faced everything from low pay and poor benefits to a lack of residuals and the looming threat of AI. In 2023, both film and television writers had enough, and the Writers Guild of America voted to strike after failing to reach a deal with studios.
In a March 2023 memo titled "Writers Are Not Keeping Up," the WGA explained their position.
Stories of writers struggling to make ends meet flooded the news, which made it clear this was a long-standing issue. It took over 140 days before negotiations were agreed upon and for the strike to finally come to an end.
They are able to go back to work, and more importantly, they're going to start getting paid again.
Number 9, History of Organised Crime. From The Godfather to The Sopranos, organised crime has been depicted on screen time and time again.
Are you in the mafia?
Am I in the what?
However, Tinseltown has also seen its fair share of real-life crime. Take, for instance, Mickey Cohen, a Los Angeles-based crime boss in the 1940s.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
After Bugsy Siegel's murder in 1947, Cohen rose to dominate the West Coast and forged connections with all sorts of Hollywood royalty, including Frank Sinatra. His imprint on Los Angeles continues to live on, with actors like Harvey Keitel and Sean Penn portraying him in films.
Get my tie on!
Number 8, Mistreatment of Animals. No animals were harmed in the making of this film is a common disclaimer used in credits of motion pictures.
You've seen this disclaimer hundreds of times before.
Sadly, the truth is a little less humane. The mistreatment and outright abuse of animals behind the scenes and sometimes even on screen is a long-standing issue in Hollywood.
When I watched the video initially, it made me sick.
Dating back to the early years of cinema, productions like Stagecoach and 1925's Ben-Hur saw animals suffering and even dying for the perfect shot. More recent flicks like 2012's Life of Pi faced backlash due to leaked evidence that animal actors were being put in dangerous situations.
You have to learn from the real thing.
Number 7, Adult Entertainment Beginnings. What do Sylvester Stallone, Simon Rex and Matt LeBlanc all have in common? Well, each of them have worked in adult entertainment.
We never should have done it. We were totally wrong for each other. Like
Oil and water.
well, like oil and something that sleeps with oil's best friend.
From non-sexual roles to full-on nudity, some of Hollywood's biggest names earn their stripes by making appearances in X-rated films and series.
You walk right over here to the desk, to Amber, and we shoot.
Do we go right into the sex?
I need some more fill.
Is that all right?
However, these stepping stones are not only limited to actors. Directors Wes Craven and Francis Ford Coppola both dabbled in the genre before hitting the big time with more well-known films. Even Jon Hamm participated in the making of Blue movies, working in the art department.
You are okay.
Number 6, Body Image. To be an actor in Hollywood means living under a microscope where every inch of one's physical appearance is up for criticism.
You have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin.
Unfortunately, this has led to performers seeking unhealthy and unsafe practices to achieve and/or maintain unrealistic beauty standards. Infamously, screen icon Judy Garland was subjected to a dangerous diet and prescriptions when she was just a teenager under the order of MGM.
Those will take the edge off.
No, I gotta sleep tonight.
Halpert will give you something for that later, down the hatch.
While many stars today have spoken out about the pressures to obtain perfection in the spotlight, it sadly remains one of Hollywood's biggest prevailing issues.
There is a small person inside of you dying to get out.
Oh, well, I hope that small person's okay in there.
Number 5, lack of diversity. For a storytelling medium, film hasn't always allowed space for diverse stories, especially in Hollywood. For decades, North American cinema has cast out non-white creators, even going as far to cast Caucasian actors as POC characters.
That's right, Jake Gyllenhaal, a white American with a Swedish last name, was cast to play the Prince of Persia from, Persia.
Take, for instance, Mickey Rooney playing Iwai Yunioshi, a Japanese man in Breakfast at Tiffany's. In recent years, the conversation around race in Hollywood has become an ongoing discussion, thanks in part to 2015's hashtag #OscarsSoWhite campaign.
And in 2015, things somehow got worse.
Thankfully, we are slowly starting to see more inclusive narratives told by diverse storytellers, and we hope Hollywood will continue to progress in this direction.
What I really want is for it to not be a fad, not be a trend.
Number 4, pressures of being a child star. Hollywood is a pressure cooker for adults, let alone for child actors. From Drew Barrymore to Macaulay Culkin, these former kid actors are just some of the famous faces that have had a rough time being young in the spotlight.
How have you been?
Fantastic. How have you been?
The mistreatment of these workers is about as old as Hollywood itself. Just take Shirley Temple's memoir, where she described the black box punishment, a method of discipline where young performers were made to sit on a block of ice if they misbehaved. Then there are those like Brooke Shields, who were forced to take on age-inappropriate roles.
Now this is a pleasant face.
Quiet!
Always a controversial topic, childhood and Hollywood have had a long and complicated relationship that is, above all else, disturbing.
I like to say that I'm an open book with boundaries, because I feel like I do wear my heart on my sleeve, but I also have learned how to protect myself.
Number 3, substance use disorders. There are a number of reasons so many celebrities fall victim to substance use disorder.
The tragic death of actor Philip Seymour Hoffman, a performer who was known for his extraordinary range. He was also known for his honesty about the struggles he faced away from the public eye.
Recreational drugs are enormously easy to come by in Tinseltown, but more than that, they are often encouraged. In the early 2010s, Dennis Quaid confessed that when he first came to Hollywood in the 70s, he discovered that some films actually carved out part of the budget to spend on a particular substance we won't spell out here.
Lesson number 2, don't get high on your own supply.
It went under the petty cash budget and was frighteningly normalised among cast and crew. Dan Aykroyd, a non-user, also admitted that it was used as a reward during filming in his 1980 comedy, The Blues Brothers.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes, it's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Number 2, the role of fixers. In Hollywood, sometimes the real-life drama is more dramatic than anything that could play on screen.
Any more thoughts about who you might marry?
I ain't doing that again. I had 2 marriages. It just cost the studio a lot of money to bust them up.
Well, we had to have those annulled. One was to a minor mob figure.
Vince was not minor.
With so many personalities and egos in the mix, there's bound to be some unsavoury behaviour that requires some polishing. Enter the role of the fixer, a highly skilled individual who can make celebrity problems disappear. From straight-up crimes to other illicit activity, fixers scrub away secrets and keep negative press at bay for some of showbiz's most elite players.
Technically, you should have to give up the baby to a third party. Joe Silman. Exactly.
Famous fixes include former PI Anthony Pellicano and producer Eddie Mannix. The latter inspired the 2014 Coen Brothers flick Hail Caesar and was portrayed by Bob Hoskins in 2006 Hollywoodland.
You don't know me. You don't know what I think, what I do. I don't let you.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. The history of the casting couch. The term casting couch underplays the dark and sinister nature of one of Hollywood's most disturbing skeletons.
So you were abused, but at the time it didn't feel like it.
And that was in a professional environment.
If you're unfamiliar with the euphemism, it represents a devastating pattern involving people with power in the industry luring and soliciting acts of intimate services from up-and-comings in exchange for things like auditions and roles in films.
You want to be a ballet dancer?
Yes.
You want to be a great ballet dancer?
Yes.
Come to my office, 3 o'clock.
The repulsive practice dates back to the early years of movie making.
You see that man? That's Max Fabian, the producer. Now go and do yourself some good.
Why do they always look like unhappy rabbits?
Because that's what they are. Now go and make him happy.
Notoriously, MGM titan Louis B. Mayer threatened those who did not comply. More recently, disgraced former film mogul Harvey Weinstein was found guilty and sentenced to prison for his disgusting assault, harassment, and abuse within the Hollywood system. Horrifying stories continue to emerge from the survivors of these crimes, proving show business needs a serious wake-up call.
It's literally a system that ingrains you to do what you need to do to get the part or to get this job. It's a survival technique.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.